Okay, this is video 6 in my series about the human connection done right. And I talked about why I'm doing this. I talked about dancing as a way to identify someone with whom you can have a comfortable connection. I talked about taking massage classes so that you have more confident, competent touch. I talked about kissing, but I did not mention biting. Some people tend to bite. If somebody bites me and hurts me when they're kissing me, it's over. They are never going to have another chance to bite me again. To me, biting says extreme insecurity or anger or both. And a lot of times the extreme insecurity is entangled with anger. And to me, biting somebody when they have trusted you enough to kiss them is just so mean, so rude. You know, I guess some people like it rough, but I am not one of them, and I question whether or not developing the capacity to tolerate roughness when you're making a physical connection is a wise thing to do, because think about it. You're conditioning yourself in a certain direction. And that direction has a violent nature to it. Now, some say, that learning BDSM stuff is, God, something about making you more able to handle reality or something like that. But if that's reality, in my opinion, it needs to change and become more gentle. I think as for me, I want more kindness and more gentleness and more tenderness in my world. And it is kindness and gentleness and tenderness that leads to my trust. And it is my trust that is the key to my satisfaction, my joy, my peace, my desire to be more intimate with someone. And it can start with communication. Can they communicate gently and kindly? In fact, I probably should have made that the first video. But I'll save it for last, because if you develop a connection that you cherish and you want to be yours for as long as it lasts pleasantly, communication is going to be a key to making a lasting connection. And lasting, enduring connections are what creates security in the world and trust in the world. So I don't know whether I'm going to like this video or not. So I was talking about the kiss in my last video, and I didn't mention what happens when someone bites you. And you should never bite anyone, in my opinion, if you're doing the kind of human connecting that I am advocating, because it makes the world a more loving, wonderful place to be in. So, if you know how to dance and you know how to give a good massage and you know how to kiss in a way that makes someone go, ah. Well, first of all, your mouth's got to be clean and you shouldn't have any dental issues. You need to floss every day. You need to brush your tongue. A lot of people don't brush their tongue. And it's just nasty. It's got a coating on it that just smells bad. And a lot of people say, well, I don't want to brush my tongue because it makes me gag. Well, yeah, this. At first it does, but not after you get used to it. And then your mouth doesn't feel clean unless you brush. Your tongue, I'm talking about. And you can, when you first start brushing your tongue, you'll brush right here, and if you go further back, it'll make you gag. But the more you brush, the further back you can go, and eventually you can brush your whole tongue. And then your mouth just doesn't feel right and clean and good unless you have done a thorough cleaning that includes the tongue. So floss, brush all the way back. Don't bite someone if they want to kiss you. Don't put up with somebody hurting you in any way. If they bite you, it's over. In terms of trust, I'm sorry, but pain undermines trust. And developing the desire for pain is, look where it's leading. More pain and more, it leads to death and hell as far as I'm concerned. And who wants that? I guess if life is so miserable you don't wish to be alive anymore, well, what a way to go. But that's not for me. That is, and it's probably not for most people. So once you've learned to dance and give a good massage and kiss and do so in a way that makes people relax and trust you, and you're ready to enter into a relationship that involves the kind of human connection that can lead to conception, oh my goodness, then what kind of connection do you want to have? Do you want to have one that brings in kindness and tenderness and gentleness and respect? If I were going to risk conception, I would want it to be a kind, gentle, loving connection. And I'm agonizing over the bought words that are going to get me banned again. I don't want that to happen, but I think there's some things that need to be discussed more openly. Maybe I'll just have to put them on Substack. They let me say more on Substack without me worrying about getting banned. I guess it could happen eventually. But anyway, what I'm wanting to talk about is don't hurt somebody when you're trying to make a human connection, because pain undermines trust. So I'm going to risk it. I'm going to talk about what I've always referred to as superior penetration technique. When you are making that connection, when your bodies are coming together and one person does an insertion and the other person does a receive. If you do it hard and fast in a pounding manner, Lord, it can almost cause bruises on the bone it hurts. You don't want penetration to hurt. And so there is a thing that happens when you penetrate where I don't know how to talk about this. I think I'm done with making videos for today. Maybe I'll talk about penetration next time, if I can figure out how.